It's currently night 11, and Kurtjar returns from a tribal disguised in betrayal. They sit around the fire pit, discussing how crazy it is they came together at that last vote. Ryan of course states the obvious about them throwing a vote his way in the case Bane had an idol, but he isn't taking that personally or seriously. He couldn't ask for more from them after flipping on Bane. Nicola admits the three of them agreed to put at least one vote on him in case the plan failed, but it doesn't mean they aren't a strong five now. Josie is happy they can work together now as a very strong unit. Telly then tells the group she needs to use the bathroom, so she walks away from the group. She then begins looking for the rehidden Kurtjar idol and easily finds it by a pea bush. She instantly grabs it and puts it into her pocket. However, it sticks out quite a lot, so she instead stuffs the idol in her bra. Telly then walks back to the group after peeing in the bush and acts like nothing happened. As for the Kunjan tribe, Kiana and Jason chat by the fire. Jason tries to figure out where the numbers currently stand and whether she would be willing to join the Season 3 alliance or not since she's also from that season. Kiana smiles and says it sounds like a tight alliance, so she would of course love to join in. Jason says that his hope is to keep Season 3 alive and well, so the two of them need to stay strong on this tribe and perhaps pull in Divin if she feels strongly about him. Kiana tells him that Divin really isn't reliable as an ally. He can expose plans if he feels like it. Jason says they can keep it between the two of them and the other Season 3 people for now. As for their next vote, the best vote might be Clever since they seem to be the outcast right now. Kiana agrees that Clever is an outcast, so they might have to go next since there aren't many other options. As everyone else joins in by the fire, Kiana walks off to pee. However, she stumbles across an idol, so she picks it up and looks back at the group, wondering if anyone caught her. It seems nobody did, so she puts the idol in her sweater pocket and acts naturally. On Okunjan, Neil has a couple of drinks at the bar, making him feel very tipsy. He realizes eventually that he had too much to drink, so he forces himself to stop so he doesn't upset the tribe. Meanwhile, Allison chats with Brooke, letting her know that in her opinion, they need to stick together and go against Neil since they barely know him. Brooke tells Allison that she doesn't feel comfortable isolating Neil so much. She already mentioned how she would like to get to know him. But, Allison tells her this game progresses rapidly, so she needs to quickly make up her mind before they go to a tribal council. Brooke says she feels more comfortable voting out Aaron because he's the most obvious person against her right now. She doesn't like the idea of working with him if he tried to lead the votes against her. Allison tells her to brush that off because it doesn't make sense for them to crack, but Brooke doesn't seem so fond of that. On the other side of camp, a drunken Neil is with Cindy and B. Marie. They discuss how the dynamics seem right now. Cindy knows they need to take a shot at Allison next tribal because she's a traitor. B. Marie cannot believe that so many people were against her and Caleb so quickly. Cindy also can't fathom that, but nevertheless, they have the numbers now if they can stick together and bring Brooke in. B. Marie however doesn't know if Brooke will trust her or not because from the beginning, they both said each other's names as voting options. Cindy thinks she can sway Brooke to their side so they have a 4-person group against Aaron and Allison. Then, they take out Allison who seems like their smartest opposition. Neil tells the two women that he's up for this since it keeps him from going home. Plus, he's chill with them, so he would rather keep this group from merge and pick off the enemy, in this case being Allison and then Aaron. It's now the next morning, meaning it's day 12. Everyone arrives to the challenge mats, finding out that Bane was last voted out from Kurtjar. Clever immediately feels awful, losing their closest ally in the game. On the other side, everyone on Okunjan seems satisfied, especially Neil who now knows that Aaron isn't targeting him anymore. At least he hopes so. It's time for the immunity challenge. Okunjan and Kunjan return the immunity statues, and Justin reveals that they will all be playing for one tribal immunity. In this challenge, 3 members from each tribe will hold up bags on the top of their hands while extending their arms out in a T pose. The other 2 tribe members will stack the bags on their hands based on who they are ordered to put them on. The goal is to keep the bags up. If 1 or more bags fall from someone's hands, they will be eliminated. The last tribe standing with at least 1 member still up will win immunity, safe from tonight. The other 2 tribes will go to separate tribals and vote someone off the tribe. Justin then asks Okunjin and Kunjin to sit 1 each from this challenge, so Cindy says she'll sit out, and Kiana also says she will sit. They sit on the bench as instructed and say hello to one another. The challenge is then set up. On Kurtjar, Josie, Sam, and Telly will hold up the bags. On Okunjin, it is Aaron, Neil, and Allison. And on Kunjin, it's Clever, Divin, and Jason. Justin reveals that Kunjin will instruct her the bags will go for Kurtjar each round. Kurtjar will do the same, but for Okunjin. And then Okunjin will pick for Kunjin. The challenge begins with round 1, and Kunjin tells Kurtjar to put bags on Telly. Okunjin are ordered to put theirs on Neil. For Kunjin, it's Divin. After just 30 seconds of holding up the bags though, Divin gives in and drops everything, eliminated from this challenge. Everyone else remains strong, heading into round 2 now. Telly is given bags again, Neil is given bags again, and Clever gets their first set of bags put on their hands. It doesn't take long for Telly to drop her bags, eliminating herself from the challenge. Neil also gets really tired and drops the bags, meaning all 3 tribes are now down to 2 members remaining. For round 3, Josie gets extra bags, Aaron gets bags, and Jason gets bags. However, Nicola accidentally knocks over Josie's top bag after placing it, meaning Josie is now out of this challenge. Kiana grins from the sidelines and roots for Kunjin to stay strong. Josie on the other hand tells her tribe that they need to force bags onto Allison until she drops so that Aaron remains for longer. At this point, they need Kunjin to lose at the very least. For round 4, Sam is forced to get bags on him. Allison is chosen to get her first set of bags. Clever once again is chosen to get bags. Everyone remains strong, so Justin says it's time for round 5. Sam gets his bags, Allison gets 2 more, and Clever gets their bags again. Due to a big tilt in the bags, Allison's bags fall to the ground from her right hand, eliminating her from the challenge. Sam also gives in, meaning Kurtjar is the first tribe fully eliminated, meaning they will head to tribal first tonight. Telly sighs and admits she's worried that Okunjin is stacking too many on Clever. They need to focus on Jason since Clever will fall out eventually on their own. Round 6 begins, and Aaron automatically gets 2 bags, and Okunjin picks Clever to get 2 more. Neither fall out, so round 7 begins. Aaron gets 2 more, making that 4 bags on each hand. He starts to shake from the amount of weight, but he remains in the challenge. On the other hand, Clever gets 2 more, but as soon as they are placed on their hands, they drop the bags immediately, eliminating themselves from the challenge. It's now a showdown between Aaron and Jason, with Jason having 2 less bags than Aaron. Round 8 is on, and Aaron gets his bags and Jason gets his. Aaron miraculously is still in, so they move on to round 9. Aaron gets his 6th bag on each hand, and Jason gets his 4th. However, Rokio puts the 4th on the very edge, and the whole stack falls to the floor, meaning Okunjin has won immunity yet again. This means Kurtjar will head to tribal first, followed by Kunjin, where 2 people will be the 6th and 7th to be voted out of Survivor's second chances. Justin then tells all 3 tribes to head back to camp, so they do. At Kurtjar, Josie talks with Sam, telling him she's obviously desperate to survive at this point. It sucks that they have to vote someone out after solidifying their group of 5. Sam knows that tonight will be tough, but he really likes her and would rather her stay over Ryan. He's going to try to get the women on board to vote him out. He just seems way more threatening anyway, so it shouldn't be too hard. Josie appreciates this and says she'll vote Ryan tonight since she has no other choice. Meanwhile, Ryan is campaigning to the girls, asking them if they want to still work together and take out the obvious leftover, Sam. Telly says she would be willing because they have solidified a great bond with one another. Nicola, who is behind Ryan, tries to indicate to Telly that they shouldn't promise this, but Telly doesn't understand what she's indicating. Ryan tells the girls he'll make sure Josie is informed to vote Sam, just in case she had other plans for whatever reason. Nicola later catches up with Sam. Sam tells her that he thinks tonight's plan should be Ryan. He's still a threat and they admitted to voting him last tribal. Josie is more likely to remain loyal to them. Nicola agrees and says they need to get Telly over here so they can solidify this plan. Without her, they might screw up. Sam wonders if Telly is considering to flip on the two of them, but Nicola claims they're going to be fine. All the while, Ryan, Josie, and Telly are together. Ryan and Josie plead to Telly to keep them since it's the right move for their newly built alliance. Telly understands and promises she is voting Sam tonight. This new alliance means a lot to her, and tonight will prove that. By her voting out 2 Kunjan members, it's more than enough proof that they are a strong force. Ryan and Josie are both thankful and claim they will pretend it's still them tonight so Sam doesn't pull an idol out randomly. On Kunjan, Clever and Caleb talk, and Clever tries to convince Caleb that it's in their best interest to continue working with Kiana and Divin as the 4 who came from Kunjan just recently. They need to clear Jason and Rokio in order for the numbers to balance out between original Kunjan and original Okunjan. Caleb says he's sticking to this plan and will vote whichever way Kunjan agrees to vote. Clever thinks they should stack their 4 votes on one of the 2 instead of splitting it. It'll prevent Divin from thinking he could just switch his vote to force a 3-2 to 1 blindside on them. Caleb agrees with this plan and pats Clever's shoulder. On the other hand, Rokio campaigns to Kiana, telling her she's a key vote for him and Jason tonight. He asks her who she trusts the least, and she admits that Divin just rubs her the wrong way. Rokio tells her they can vote him out in that case. Kiana asks if they have the votes though, and Rokio says Caleb has already agreed to flip. Kiana is a bit stunned by this, but nevertheless says that she's on board to make this move. At the fire, Jason talks with Divin, checking to see if there is a crack in the Kunjan group. Divin claims that Caleb is pretty close to Kiana, so it's likely Kunjan will just stick together. He obviously doesn't know Caleb's relationships on Okunjan, so to him, Caleb seems like the biggest wild card. Jason, however, tells Divin that it would be pretty epic if they could pull off a blindside on Clever. Nobody really trusts them, making them unreliable moving forward into a merge situation. Divin says that although people expect him to stay Kunjan strong, they tried to burn him once already. Therefore, he is open to voting Clever tonight to send a message to the rest that he's not going to play by their rules. Jason is thrilled by this and Divin smiles menacingly. Rokio and Caleb later join them and Jason fills them in on the plan to take out Clever. Caleb says he'll do it if Divin agrees to do it too. Rokio says that Kiana is under the impression that Divin is going, so he'll have to watch out for her. Divin laughs in response, finding it so dumb that Kiana is flipping on him already. Night 12 commences, and Kurtjar arrives to Tribal Council. They sit down, so Justin gets right into the discussion. He addresses Josie first, asking her how dynamic Kurtjar has become since they first came together. Josie says that last tribal proved things aren't as clear-cut as they seem from an outside perspective. She and Ryan were able to stay thanks to Sam, Nicola, and Telly voting with them. However, her and Ryan are very vulnerable once again. Justin turns to Ryan, asking him if he believes it's 3 against 2, or if there might be another switch-up like last tribal. Ryan says he hopes things will switch up again, and he won't lose faith. But, it'll be much harder with less numbers on the tribe. Justin asks Sam if it's in anyone's mind right now to work with Ryan and Josie, and Sam says it's possible someone is thinking about it. For him though, he believes the three Kunjin are sticking strong. The only reason they took out Bane is because he isn't super trustworthy. Justin then asks Nicola if she also found Bane untrustworthy, and Nicola says it's more than that. Bane essentially had close allies in this game that weren't them, and this swap was an opportunity to work with new people and form new close bonds, such as with Ryan and Josie. Unfortunately tonight, it would seem one of them have to go since Kunjin truly is a tight unit. Telly turns to Nicola after that response and Justin claims it's time for them to get to this vote once and for all.
I'll tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, I'll read the votes. First vote, Ryan. Sam. 1 vote Ryan, 1 vote Sam. Sam. That's 2 votes Sam, 1 vote Ryan. Sixth person voted out of Survivor Second Chances, Sam.
Without much of a reaction, Sam gets up right away so he can go grab his torch. Josie breathes out and looks up at Sam as he heads behind her. He goes to place his torch next to Justin and watches it get snuffed. He makes his way out and Telly leans on her arm, anxious by the blind side they just pulled off. Justin then tells the rest they can head back to camp, so they do. Kunjin is up next for their tribal council, so they sit down once they arrive. Justin welcomes them to their first tribal council as a new tribe. He turns to Clever first, letting them know they performed exceptionally today. Clever thanks Justin, so Justin then asks them if they can sum up how Kunjin's division is like. Clever says it's a little bit complicated here because technically, it's a 3-and-3 split in terms of original tribes. However, Caleb got to know the Kunjin people a bit better than Jason and Rokio, so it could also be a 4-against-2 situation. Justin asks Caleb if he sees it this way as well, and Caleb says it's quite obvious that he's in a sort of swing position. Both sides are trying to get him to work with them, so he'll just have to prove who he is loyal to tonight. Justin asks Kiana if she believes Jason and Rokio are toast tonight, and she says she hopes so. It would be a shame for there to be a flip so soon in their new tribe. Jason however speaks up and says it's not something that's supposed to be shamed. Flipping is part of Survivor. But Kiana says there is a time and place for flipping. In this case, they can move forward as a cohesive group and reach merge together where all the nastiness comes out. Justin asks Rokio how he feels about tonight's vote, knowing that Kiana and Clever so far advocated original tribal lines. Rokio then says it should be clear to everyone who is on the bottom of that alliance of 4. Caleb and Divin aren't in the power position. Kiana and Clever are. Kiana then turns to Rokio, asking him what makes him think she is in a power position. Rokio says that based on his conversations with Caleb and Divin, they both feel like they aren't heard as much. Especially Divin feels this way. Kiana and Clever both turn to Divin, and Divin's eyes widen. Justin asks Divin for a response regarding this information, and Divin says that's not exactly what he meant in their conversations. He just felt like he was an outsider in general on Kunjin. People tied him with Ashley, who ended up as the tribe target. Kiana immediately feels paranoid now and tells Justin she's not even that certain about tonight's plan anymore. Caleb tells Kiana to just stick to the plan, but she admits she's questioning Divin's loyalty now. Divin also tells her to stick to the plan and to ignore the paranoia. Jason tries to get Divin's attention, but he doesn't look at him. Kiana breathes out and continues to look at Divin and Caleb at points. Justin then says they'll find out what happens now as they are ready to vote.
I'll tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Kiana is using a hidden immunity idol tonight. She is playing this for Clever. That means any votes for Clever won't count. I'll read the votes. First vote. Clever. Does not count. Clever, does not count. Jason. That's one vote, Jason. Jason. 2 votes, Jason. 7th person voted out of Survivor Second Chances, Jason.
Kiana instantly covers her face from wasting her idol. Jason gets up and Rokio puts his face into his hands. Jason places his torch down next to Justin and watches it get snuffed. He turns to the group and wishes them all the best, hoping one of them can pull out a win at Final 3. He makes his way out and Caleb and Divin look at Kiana as she processes the chaos that went down tonight. Justin then lets the group know they should head back to camp, so they grab their things and leave. Next time on Survivor Second Chances. With only 15 players remaining in the game now, the 3 tribes start to feel the heat as there is so much uncertainty everywhere. How is Kurtjar going to function now that there are only 4 of them left? Will a major player be left on the outs? Plus, with Kunjin beginning to crumble after last tribal, will they somehow still stick together and go against Rokio? Or, will Rokio be in a swing vote position? Find everything out on Thursday's episode. Sam's final thoughts. Sam doesn't know how to feel about Tully and Nicola flipping on him after they just got closer from flipping on Bane. At the moment, he feels like they made a major mistake since they are risking rocks going into the next round. He also thought he established a good relationship with the girls, but clearly it was never the case if they voted him out so easily. At this point, Sam only wishes to see Kiana win because she has true winner attributes and her gameplay so far has been fire. Jason's final thoughts. Jason feels like he played a quieter game this season than during Season 3. His hope was to skate by to merge and make his moves there. He was in a cozy position on Okonjin, but the swap really screwed him over. It was clear to Caleb that Okonjin's alliance wasn't as strong anymore, so he stuck to his new friends from Old Konjin. He has no hard feelings and really wants a Season 3 person to take home the win.